Michigan Magazine is kept on the road by our many Michigan friends. Cops and Donuts Bakery, downtown Clare, a winning combination. Cops and Donuts. Introducing the Weed Gator for safe and easy aquatic weed removal. The Weed Gator is the #1 alternative to harsh chemicals for getting rid of pond and lake weeds. Safe and effective. See it in action now at weedgator.net. Made in the USA. Your northern experience is never complete without a stop at the historic Ma Dieters of Luzerne. Enjoy the ambiance inside or outside on the huge patio area. Order from the complete menu with entrees served hot, fresh, and good. Come experience Ma Dieters in the heart of God's country, Luzerne, Michigan. It's officially summertime in Michigan. We hope you're enjoying this wonderful time of year, but we hope you're keeping an eye on the skies. Michigan is entering the heart of our tornado season. The next 30 days is usually when we have most of our severe weather. As a matter of fact, it was 16 years ago that the unexpected happened just down the road from the Michigan Magazine Museum, which is now, of course, the Skyline Event Center. A tornado swept through the small village of Cumins, nearly wiping out the entire community. Thankfully, no one was injured, and the community, along with other citizens of Michigan and neighboring states, rallied to reconstruct. Today on the show, we bring you that story of the Comins Tornado of 1999. Also, on today's show, Oscoda County has been labeled the hotspot in Michigan for Bigfoot sightings and so-called nesting areas. Although we remain on the fence on this subject, we decided to make our own investigative journey into the Luzerne, Michigan area, as my grandson and I brave known Sasquatch sighting areas along the Asabo River. With camera in hand, we journey deep into the cedar swamps, and what we find and heard is making us think twice about our hasty conclusions. You decide for yourself on this edition of Michigan Magazine. Cops and Donuts Bakery, downtown Clare. What began as a crazy idea among 9 police officers to purchase the historic Clare City Bakery quickly became an international phenomenon, carrying on a Michigan tradition with delicious donuts, pies, pastries, breads, original coffee, and more. Plus a full menu at the new adjacent traffic stop diner. Downtown Clare, a winning combination. Cops and Donuts. Experience the beauty, artistry, and taste of northern Michigan. Come to Amish Country Natural Products on Mount Tom Road, north of Mile, just off M33. From arts and crafts to fresh foods and vegetables, all natural, all local, all good. Stop by and get acquainted with Amish Country Natural Products, 1454 North Mount Tom Road, Mile. Hale Hardware, your do-it center in Hale, Michigan. Much more than a regular hardware store, providing everything you need for whatever your project is, along with a knowledgeable sales staff to get her done. Serving northern Michigan since 1946. Hale Hardware, south of M65 at Ainsley in Hale. The Michigan Magazine Museum is located in the peaceful rolling hills of Oscoda County, about 2 miles south of Comins, Michigan. A peaceful, quiet community that stood here for decades. In its heyday, it was literally the end of the line for the railroad. The train stopped here and made its way back along its route. If you were on the train when you arrived in Cumins in the early part of the last century, more than likely this is where you wanted to be. It seemed to be a safe haven from the hustle and bustle of city life. With a few businesses here, along with the local Mennonite church, to the few hundred residents, it is and always will be home. It certainly has personified small-town living in Michigan. We at Michigan Magazine had picked the perfect neighbor. All seemed to be at peace in this little quiet corner of rural Michigan until that one fateful night, July 3rd, 1999. We at the Michigan Magazine Museum had left the building around 6:30 p.m., locking up for the day, still recovering from our first successful Expo Arts and Crafts show the week before, and we're excited about the future. We saw nothing unusual in the air, just another hot, humid day in Oscoda County, expecting to be back the next day to open the museum for the July 4th visitors and perhaps take in the annual Independence Day Parade in downtown Cumins. The next day was one of the most traumatic days we encountered. We had heard on the news that about 1 hour after we had left the museum, disaster struck in the form of an F2 tornado just down the road in downtown Cumins. We hurried to the scene to find nearly total ruin. Acquaintances, friends, some of them Michigan Magazine Museum volunteers, were still in a state of shock as they wandered through the streets of their leveled community. The post office, the town hall, homes, and other landmark buildings had been destroyed. As we wandered the streets, we heard stories from those that had experienced this sneak attack from the skies, stories of close calls and divine intervention that kept them from serious injury, which seemed to be the case throughout the entire community. Thank God there were no deaths or serious injuries, just hundreds of thousands of dollars in property loss. As we walked the streets of Cumins this July 4th, 1999, we were drawn to the totally destroyed Comins Mennonite Church and were struck by the fact that amongst the rubble, still standing and waving next to upright chairs, was the American flag. This segment on Michigan Magazine isn't a story of the destruction of Cumins, but of the progress one community has made to reconstruct their heritage and town through volunteerism and dedication. One prime example is the church itself. Within weeks of these shots, an overwhelming response from various religious denominations from not only Michigan, but from throughout the Midwest made their way to Cumins to put the community's place of worship back in order. There were not only Mennonites, but Baptists, Catholics, Lutherans, and Amish, to name a few. Everyone put their differences aside for what looked to be like an old-fashioned church raising, all coordinated through the organization called Mennonite Disaster Services. We talked with Disaster Services Coordinator Jim Scott of Cedar Springs, Michigan, about the work of the MDS after they heard of the Comins tragedy.
We've taken on the responsibility of providing most of the labor to rebuild the church. The church is buying all the material, and we just furnish the labor.
Right, and it's not only Mennonites, but interdenominational, I would say.
Oh, yes.
People from all faiths are coming into it.
We've had all faiths, Catholic, and we've had congregationals, and of course the Mennonite and the Amish, and pretty much everything.
Right, I see.
Yeah,
I see. As a matter of fact, it's quite a larger structure than the original, though. This is going to be a large church. What are the plans? Who decided the final construction plans of this project?
they have a church committee, and they worked on that.
Okay.
With the guidance of myself to help them figure out just how much we could build. That's where we've gone to.
So what is the basic timeline for people to be back in church? Or is this pretty much as the weather is and it goes day by day? Or
I'm hoping we can have them back in by the first Sunday of Advent. Whether it'll be completed by then, I doubt it, but I think we can have them in there by then.
Yeah, you've had pretty good weather, though, cooperating with you, haven't you?
Real good. We could use a little rain. It's pretty dry up here, but we're doing good.
And this is not only local people, but I mean, you come all the way from down by Grand Rapids. We've got them coming from all over the state, don't we?
We've had them from Indiana. We've had some from Ohio. I'm expecting some people from Canada to come in before we're done. So, yeah, we come from all over.
That's amazing. It is really unusual for a lot of people to see everybody coming together despite their differences perhaps and doing something for a common cause. I mean, this must make you, well, you probably are used to something like this, but a lot of people, this is kind of an unusual and a kind of heartwarming event here.
Oh, it's very heartwarming. Even for me, it's very heartwarming. I never know from one day to the next how many I'm going to get. I just keep calling and asking different groups if they can respond, and those that can come, and the rest of us, you know, we do with what we got. But yesterday we had 46.
Ooh, my goodness.
Today we have 20. So
my gosh.
we never know. Of course, a lot of our people are farmers, a lot of the Amish especially. So crops are going in the barns now, and silos are being filled. So this hurts our response, but they still come.
Quite a response for everything that they've got to be done in the normal progress of life. But the disaster service is something that's been established for things like this, and it's an organization that handles requests from all over, don't they?
Yes, we have a contract with the federal government that we will respond to any national disaster to try to rebuild. And of course, our faith is that we help people.
They have been overwhelmingly kind and outpouring of love. The people that have come and worked here day after day, giving up their own jobs, their own harvesting of their crops this time of year, and spending day after day here working for us. It's unbelievable that they can do this, that they would do this.
And besides the local people coming in, we heard that they're coming from all over.
All over, from Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, from Upper Peninsula, from all over Michigan, and local people. The Amish community has been just fantastic. Every day they're here working, and they work hard. Everybody's been really working hard, and it's an outpouring of love and kindness.
I tell you, were you kind of taken back or surprised?
Oh, I never realized that anything anything like this would happen. I've heard talk about it, but I always thought it was lip service. Now I'm seeing it coming to light, and it's unreal.
You know, it kind of reminds me of the old days when you see these barn raisings and the church raisings back then, but we thought that was probably a thing of the past, but the heritage of that is being perpetuated through this, and it's just overwhelming.
It's just overwhelming to see all these people all over the building doing different jobs at the same time.
And that's going to make this church, I think, very special because of the people's involvement and not a situation where you get a general contractor or subcontractor that you don't even know. This is more or less kind of a family coming together, isn't it?
Well, we couldn't have a church if it wasn't for the Mennonite Disaster Service. We don't have the funds to do that. We are in need of money as it is, but without them we couldn't have this building at all. There's no question about it. It wouldn't happen. It just wouldn't happen.
It really restores a person's faith in the human character and the human...
It certainly has restored mine.
Yes. Well, Paul, thank you very much and best of luck, and we'll see you in the pews when this church is fully constructed.
Join us.
Okay.
Come and join us. Thank you,
Paul.
Well, with the willingness and determination of the volunteers, the Comins Mennonite Church was resurrected from the rubble and again welcomes visitors and congregation members every week. The community of Cumins is still recovering from that fateful Independence Day weekend back in 1999. In one sense, it made the citizens closer, confident of the community's dedication to preserving this wonderful little slice of rural Michigan. Now more than ever, people of the area are pooling resources to not only build a better future, but determined to not forget the past. A booklet entitled Cumins Then and Now was produced, documenting the night and the day after, along with the thoughts of those that lived through the event. The book, by the way, is available at the Michigan Magazine Museum. Another project is underway that will help remember the early days of the community before the tornado. Some refer to them as the heydays. In the middle of the town sits the Caboose Museum, which marks the official end of the line, a project that again brought the community together to remember the Cumins heritage. The Caboose was one of the rare landmarks that the tornado of '99 sidestepped and left alone. The latest project is to develop the adjoining lots into a Cumins historical park. The project inspired cooperation among 3 local arts and cultural groups to agree to research and memorialize Ferdinand Stutzman, a significant figure in local history. The project includes a bronze bust and historical plaque for permanent outdoor display in the park. The bronze bust was commissioned and created through grant money from the Michigan Arts Council. In a future edition of Michigan Magazine, we'll visit with the artist and sculptor Joe Donna, sculpting instructor at Kirtland Community College, and watch as he creates the likeness of Ferdinand into clay that would eventually become the finished bronze. We congratulate and salute the citizens of Oscoda County for their resilience in bringing the spirit back into their community. Comins, Michigan. Michigan Magazine is being brought to you in part by Hingeman Acres Canoe Livery and Resort on M33 just north of Mayo, catering to the outdoor enthusiasts. Cabins, canoes, kayaks, rafts, and more. Daytime or overnight trips along the world-famous Asabo River. A family getaway for over 75 years. Clemix Sales and Service on Mapes Road, west of Mayo, your complete recreational vehicle sales and service connection. Visit their beautiful showroom of new and pre-owned ATVs, lawnmowers, power equipment, snowmobiles, utility vehicles, and more. Clemix Sales and Service is also the home of the American-made Victory motorcycle line on display at Clemix on Mapes Road, Mayo. The Michigan-made rebounding mailbox pole. Never again worry about the winter snowplow taking out your mailbox with this ingenious rebounding pole. Your mailbox takes a hit and keeps coming back year after year. Call now or visit their website, toughmailboxes.com. Okay, we are deep in the woods in the Luzerne area. And I'm not a master of stackings for Bigfoot or anything. This is one of the more reported places that Bigfoot has supposedly been sighted or evidence of him. We have come across a trail here in the Camp 10 Bridge area, off a little trail that goes back to the point, and up further is a place called the Orchard. And we've come across a kind of forest anomaly. I don't know, maybe you can tell me if you think this is a stacking or not. Let me get over here and check this out, let you get a little more accurate view of what we found here. I mean, this is a large tree. Where it came from, we have no idea. There's no stumps in the area. That the bottom of this could have been just pushed over. But up here, as you see, it goes up into that configuration there. And, you know, it could be a forest anomaly, a wind anomaly. But it just struck us as strange. It is over a pathway. And we just don't know. Just don't know. Let's get another angle here. It could be just nothing, but since this is a hot spot for Bigfoot, we thought maybe it was something, especially when we couldn't figure out where this humongous, it had to be about 6 inches in the diameter. Where did that come from? Very desolate area. Here on the banks of the Asabo River, in the Camp 10 area. The bridge is probably a mile in that direction through these cedar swamps. See if we can get a better look at that. I don't know if it's a stacking or not. I'm a skeptic in a way, but it's unusual. Crosses the pathway, but there is a pathway. Anyway, stay tuned. Like I said, more sightings in this area of the state than anywhere else in Michigan. Okay, my grandson is ahead of me with his camera. He's probably reached the orchards by now, so let's go. Anomaly number 2 in the forest. Here we have tree, and up there the branches have been split as low, you know, you could take one in each hand and pull it down and pull to the ground. Interesting. You decide. Come across a little obstacle, a little stream in the way. See if we can get across. That shouldn't be too hard. Okay, let's do this. All right. Okay. Got it. All right, here we go. All right. Back on the path. Okay, we've come across a block. I don't know if we can get through that or not. The path has been definitely blocked. Something special's cooking, hot and delicious. Indulge yourself at Morning at Maggie's in Bay City. Omelets, frittatas, hotcakes, and more. Make every day special with a stop at Morning at Maggie's for breakfast or lunch on Saginaw in Bay City. Luzerne Express Campground is the premier campground with everything to make your northern adventure complete. Modern and rustic campsites, equestrian campers welcome, a huge market with bakery and deli. Nearby RV, hiking, and horse trails, along with a complete canoe, raft, and kayak rental. Visit us online, then call for more information and reserve your spot today. Rose City Drug, just south of the Rose City city limits at 2640 North M33, featuring a state-of-the-art, completely automated and extremely accurate computer-filled prescription process.
Here at Rose City Drug, we're family-owned and operated for over 20 years. We offer fast and friendly service, and we always take the extra step to make sure your needs are fulfilled.
Well, thanks for joining us, and don't forget to continue that story of our hike into Bigfoot country by visiting our YouTube channel, Forbidden Michigan, all one word. And be sure to follow us where we go between our meetings here on RFD TV by following us on Instagram, Keek, Vine, Spirit of Michigan on YouTube, and of course, Facebook. Coming up right around the corner is our Big Cowboy Weekend, July 3rd, 4th, and the 5th. We've got cowboy and cowgirl lookalikes coming to town for stops in Lupton, Clare, and Coopersville, Old West Town. Plus, we've got a lot of surprises coming your way on that weekend. For more information and a schedule, go to thespiritofmichigan.com and join us for this coming weekend's events. It's all free, including Coopersville, Old West Town. Plus, all our heroes will be autographing pictures and giving the young and young at heart a chance to get those selfies with heroes and heroines of yesteryear. No phrase of the week this week. We'll pick that up again soon. We're catching up on awarding those prizes. Thanks for being a part of this program each week here on RFD TV. We'll see you next week for another edition of Michigan Magazine. We'd like to thank all those that help keep Michigan Magazine on the road. Cops and Donuts Bakery, downtown Clare. A winning combination. Cops and Donuts. Rose Valley Winery on Beechwood Road in Rose City. See what thousands are raving about, creating a delicious variety of award-winning Michigan wines. Stop by and taste for yourself. The taste of Michigan is yours at Rose Valley Winery.
Vacation. Don't make the planning of it more than what you're trying to get away from. At northernmichigancabinrentals.com, you can choose from over 2,500 cabins, cottages, lodges, resorts, lakefront vacation home rentals, and more. Whatever experience you're looking for, from rustic to luxury and everything in between. No more rustling with telephone books. No more endless internet searches. Just one site with over 2,500 Northern Michigan destinations. northernmichigancabinrentals.com.